everyone. The key to success is to start before you are ready. Today, we have someone who has done it all. With great delight and cheer, I would like to welcome Mr. Pranav Thakkar. He is a chartered accountant and a chartered financial analyst by qualification and is one of the youngest to clear both CA and CFA in the whole of India at an early age of 22 years. He's a stock market enthusiast, broker, stock trader, and portfolio manager with a total combined AUM of over INR 10 crores at Zenith Money. He began his stock market journey as well as his first business venture at the age of 19. Currently, he is working as an analyst in Alvarez and Marsal, a leading global professional services firm which provides advisory, business performance improvement, and turnaround services to various businesses. Thank you so for joining us today. We are glad to have you as our guest for our virtual interview of Success Mantra and are very excited to know more about your journey. So could you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure. Thank you so much, first of all, for spending this hour at the weekend, inviting me. I'm very glad I could be a part of this amazing series that you have started. I've seen some interviews of the past. People been of some strata. So I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate to be part of that. Thanks again for the kind introduction. I think it covers it all. Yes, I've been a finance buff all my life. Started my it's been a sharp learning curve, I would say. And again, it was not all planned. I know it's just things that come after one, and you do one thing, you get interested into something else, and you start doing that, and that's how you build this. These are like building blocks to the larger picture, right? So CFA was not planned. CA was planned. If you're into commerce, I thought I'll do chartered accountancy, but CFA was not planned. Running a venture was not planned. Getting into consultancy was not planned. It's just like you explore things and you start liking them, some things, and you start disliking some things, and that's how you figure out a way for yourself. So that's how my journey was. It has always been a journey of experiential learning rather than specifically learning some theories and stuff. I've always believed in experiential learning. You try something, you fail, and you learn from that experience. That's how it has been. One last thing is you never plan for great success or great failures, right? It always is just part of what you do. Action again is more important than what you believe you can do, right? What you believe your potential is. So at this age, I mean, you guys would be what, like 20s, early 19, 20, 21, I'm guessing. And I mean, at that age, it's trying to explore. I mean, if you are in your college, just explore, just try, learn new things. I did that, and yeah, it's been a good journey.
So, sir, you did the most challenging courses, CA and CFA altogether. Like people are not able to clear CA in the first, both of them together. So, how challenging was it?
I mean, see, to be very honest, I won't be giving you a very, very rosy, gloomy picture. Don't want to misguide you there. It is difficult, to be very honest. But what is very important is how you plan for these things. Okay, I mean, in terms of how do you plan your schedule? You do anything in your life, be it commerce, engineering, science, kuch bhi kar lo, you will have to sacrifice something for that. Okay, and few years will go into that. It is typically said that you take 10,000 hours to master a skill. Okay, any skill. It could be as simple as, I mean, okay, not simple, but as basic as cooking, as basic as, let's say, trading. Any skill you pick up, you'll take 10,000 hours to master it. So if you want to excel in that particular stream, you have to give 10,000 hours. And again, CA would be something that will require those number of hours. CFA would be something that would require those number of hours. So you have to do that. Okay, and 10,000 hours would be, again, it's not that I've done CFL, I'm a master of finance. So it's now I'm getting into the groove of it. I'm getting into the practicalities of it. The job experience will help me, master it more and stuff. So my priority was simple. When I started CA, I was doing CA. I cleared the second level of CA, and then I was in my 3 years of articleship. that's when I thought that I should also, learn more about finance, and that's where I came across this course called CFA, which is recognized by the, I mean, it's the institute is in the US, but it's recognized by the world, and it's one of the finest course in finance. To be very honest, it's very, uh, I mean, the depth that they've covered, the quality of concepts, all of these, it's really great. So for me, then it became like a good knowledge portal more than anything. It was not just a addition of a new qualification, but it was more for me, it was more like a knowledge portal where I'm really learning new things about finance. So I came across this course and I thought, chalo, ye karna chahiye. This is something that I would like. Eventually, I liked it more than CA because CA is more theory. I mean, it's more into 8 facets of accounting and finance. Like it covers 8 different subjects, so that it allows you to practice any of it. I mean, after you're cleared. But CFA is core finance. I mean, it goes into the depth of each topic. So I like that more. It's more practical. And eventually I ended up clearing CFA before CA. I mean, that was not the plan, but it just happened that I was so interested that, I ended up doing it. I mean, the attempt after attempt, fatafat kar liya. And then, yeah, I mean, that's how it happened. The important part here again is it's not about multitasking. Today I feel it's important. Multitasking is very important, but multitasking is not about doing multiple things at the same hour. Let's say I'm recording this with you and I'm also replying to my work emails. I'm also doing something else. That's not how it works. So I'm recording this. I'll not spend the next 1 hour doing anything else. But let's say I have something planned for work at 12:30. So I'll focus on that at what 12:30. So you do multiple things, but at different hours of the day. So when you're doing CA, so if you do look at the larger picture, you will probably spend, let's say, 3-4 months on CFA, and then again you move back to CA because वो आपका regular course है. वापस कुछ एग्जाम आएगी, CFA level 2 आएगा, you'll have to focus again for another 2-3 months on that. So that's the larger picture. You'll have to, your 5 year span where I cleared CA and CFA. It was not that I was doing both of these things simultaneously at the same hour, in the same day. Probably I'll spend a week, I'll spend 2 weeks, 15 days, 20 days on a particular subject, and move to something else. So that's how you plan, that's how you prioritize. जिसका एग्जाम है उसको आपको ज्यादा प्रायोरिटी देना है, that's how you clear. I mean, that's how you will be able to put 100% focus, and you'll be working at your utmost capacity and efficiency.
So you had your business venture at 19 and you were doing CA and CFA simultaneously. So college was also going on at that time, right? So how was your college life? Like you wouldn't have like normal college life. You wouldn't have that,
again,
right?
yeah. So there's some difference in understanding for college. I mean, I'm from Bombay, okay, and I think you guys are from Delhi, and Delhi has a different culture for commerce graduates as well. And in Bombay, it's really different where you have a regular college of like 7 to 10, 11, 3-4 hours of college, and then you have your internship, office, whatever. Uh, that's how the day is. Okay. Hence, it's really different from how a Delhi graduate would feel, because I think you have a whole day college, right? Like 9 to 3 types college hota hai, right? So it will take up a lot of time from your day. But I think that's also a part of your learning where you meet people, where you have your college experiences as well. We don't have those experiences, to be honest, but it's very important. For me, even those 3-4 hours of college was very important because you meet the right people. So I was from a college called Nursi Monji in NM, which is very, very, very famous for chartered accountants. I mean, if there's an intake of 1,000 students, more than 750 would be pursuing CA. That's the level of common intelligence that you would get in that college, and I think that helps to an extent because you're speaking with the right people, you're speaking with the right audience, and even they are doing the same thing. So you're never digressed from the original goal, right? If you are, then probably someone will be studying better than you. Will probably there's some competition, you will up your skill again, you will get back in the game. So you always have a skin in the game. You are never too off. So that helps. So college वो हिसाब से बहुत important जाता है. Second is business. Again, it was not planned. So I started trading when I was 18 and a half, and uh, probably 6 months to 8 months after that, I started developing interest into derivatives, and where I encounter option trading and other things, and I found that really fascinating. And in India, I think trading as an experience is very limited to a lot of, I mean, to the Indian population. investing is very limited, trading तो और कम हो जाएगा, and then उसमें options तो और भी कम हो जाएगा. So when you make those cuts, the percentage is very low, and hence there is limited participation in options from a lot of people. And that's where I understood कि थोड़े strategies होते हैं जो आप options में कर सकते हो, जो every retail investor can do it. And that's when the whole business thing came out. So I was doing it for myself. I thought, why not expand it to other people? And that's where I came across कि चलो दोस्तों के साथ करते हैं. And then it probably turned into a business venture. It was never planned. It was just my thing. I was doing it for my own account. I had some strategies which were working fine in both kinds of market back then, and I just expanded that to larger audience. I mean, to clients and to friends and stuff. And that's how it was created. And I think that's how a business is created. I mean, you don't plan for a business. You always try to solve a problem. The problem could be as small as, let's say you are in your house and you see a lot of honking on the road just outside your house, and you feel that is a problem, and you find a solution to solve the honking problem. You find something and an alternative which will probably reduce sound pollution, and it works. So you try that locally, like in your vicinity. It works well. You expand it to the Delhi city. It works well. You expand it to the state. It works well. You expand it to the country, and then you take it global. Obviously, this will be a 10-15 year process, but that's how it is. You try it locally. It works well. You scale it up. It works well. You scale it up. You just don't go too fast, and that's what happened with me as well. I mean, I started with my own account. फिर दोस्तों के साथ किया. That worked well, and then expanded it to outside clients as well. So that was a business venture. It was not very difficult for me, to be honest, because it was the same thing that I was doing for myself. अगर मैं खुद के लिए कर रहा हूँ, I just had to replicate it for others. So the product made sense. It was an easy product to explain. It was an easy product to execute, and hence scalability did not bring a lot of problems, to be honest. And hence it was working fine in the scheme of things that I had.
So you stated that many of the things that you were doing in your life, it was not planned. So is there something that you did spontaneously and which did not turn out as you wanted it to, or you regretted kind of?
Of course. I mean, see, there are no regrets. It's always experiences. Even in this trading world, I mean, you do some things. I mean, trading is all about spontaneity because it's very fast, right? And then the right decisions that you make in that instant, in that 2-second window that you have, the probability of getting those decisions right is always coming from your experience. Okay. For example, give you a very simple example to clarify this. So let's say आप कुछ situation में अटके हुए हो, and you think something कि भाई चलो ये कर लेते हैं. The probability of that thought to be right eventually will only come from your experience. कि आपने past में ऐसा कुछ देखा होगा या past में आपने कुछ ऐसा सुना होगा जिसकी वजह से that experience is helping you to take that decision. So initially सबका ये गलत होता है. मतलब maybe it's not wrong, but it's let's say not 100% right as well. You are closer to 80-70%, and then you fill the gaps. Maybe आपको अगर 2 महीने में करना है वो 4 महीने में होगा, आपको 1 महीने में करना है, तो that's the probability of getting it right. Okay, so आपको हमेशा first time में right नहीं मिलेगा. काफी decisions होते हैं जो आप maybe you don't get it right in the first place. So it's not that it's wrong, it's just that it takes a little longer than you would have expected. तो वो होता है. But again, if you don't take that decision, you will not be able to take a right decision in the next time, because it always comes from that experience. So you cannot back off. You take that decision. हो जाए गलत तो हो जाए गलत. You face it, you learn, and then again you move forward.
Right, sir. So you were involved in so many things. So how would you exactly describe your work profile? Like if someone asks you what are you doing in your life, what would be the thing that you tell them?
Okay, so currently, so I'm doing something very different. Okay, I'm working with a consulting firm, Alvarez and Marsal, which is primarily revolved around working with private equity firms. So whenever there's a transaction that happens, so they hire us to evaluate the deal, understand the financials, valuations, kaise chal rahe hai, all of that. It's more deal oriented. That's one thing that I do. I also write content for a lot of finance companies. I mean, abhi uska scale kam ho gaya. I mean, my participation has reduced. I have 8-9 people working with me on that. I started that as well when I was younger, as a passion, and then it's now become a part-time profession, something like that. So I write content as well. but again, the participation is reduced because of other things that I have on my plate. So I have few college students only who are helping with this. So I write website, I create content for their website, etc. I manage funds, which is Zenith Money primarily. So I work with my brother at Zenith Money. He handles most of the things now again. I'm trying something else. So I've partially moved out, but I'm also managing few accounts now. We are primarily into broking and advisory. So okay, again, when you want to do multiple things, you can start multiple things, but then as you scale up, you'll have to find someone who can resonate the same type of energy, as well as can take up some work. So delegation and partnership are two things which is very, very, very important as you scale up. You cannot go big alone. That's very difficult. So that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm trying to work a lot with people, collaborate with a lot of people as well, so that the work is eased up, and it still flows smoothly. So yeah, that's been the plan.
So you're actually inspiring all of us, because we also want to, everyone wants to do a lot in their lives. But if we put a lot in our plates, we're not able to, do justice to each and everything. So any tips that you would like to give us as college students, you would like to hear something about that?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, see what I used to do. Okay. I'll give you a simple example of writing content. Okay. So I started writing content again when I was 20-ish. Okay. So what I used to do, I didn't have a habit of reading books. Okay. I still don't. Okay. I still cannot read like a 250-pager book at one stretch, or even like in a week. Okay. I am very bad at spending time on reading. Okay. But when I was younger, I understood that it's really important to read, and it's really important to continuously read and make it sustainable. But I never did that. So to not miss out on this, what I did was I started writing. Okay. So I wanted to read about finance. So let's say मुझे simple book Rich Dad Poor Dad पढ़नी है, but I'm not very interested. मुझे bore हो रहा है. I cannot spend time enough. It's not I don't have time. Okay, everyone has time. It's just I don't want to spend time on reading. Okay, I don't have that habit. So मैंने क्या किया? I started writing on similar topics. So my first blog that I wrote was on investing, mistakes that investors make, something like that. And it was like typically my journey, what mistakes I had done. And I wrote like a 2,000-word blog on LinkedIn. Now what happens is, when you write about something, you'll have to cover the entire universe around that topic. You cannot leave any item open-ended. See, it's not a conversation. So when you are asking me something, I'm answering. If you have some questions, if let's say I have not answered it well, you will have some follow-up questions and we can clarify. But when it's a written blog, it's a word in the Bible. It's written. There's no two-way communication to it, right? So I cannot leave anything open-ended to the judgment of the reader. कि मैंने लिख लिया, आप अपने हिसाब से समझ लो. It won't happen. So when you have to complete that blog, you'll have to read more than what you would have read in the book. आप और भी research करोगे, और भी कुछ करोगे. That's how I started my habit of reading. Okay, to complete my blogs, I started writing, and eventually after a couple of blogs, it went well. It got published on investing and a few other websites as well. And that's how I got calls from creators, marketers to write for them for finance. So it would be a bank or an insurance for their websites. कि आप उसके लिए blog लिखो. Now again, see, this was not planned. This was something that I wanted to do. So the limited point is, whenever you try to upskill yourself, that is something which will give you a leverage to make that passion into a full-time profession, or maybe a part-time profession, whatever it can be. But the important part here is upskilling yourself. You cannot expect someone to pay you for something that they will teach you at this stage. कि अगर आप मेरे साथ काम कर रहे हो, you cannot expect कि मैं आपको पे भी करूं, मैं आपको सिखाऊं भी, और मैं आपको काम भी दूं. It's very difficult. See, I understand at that age you will need someone to guide you. The guidance will be there, but the initial वो जो spark होना चाहिए ना, वो आपके में होना चाहिए कि भाई मुझे सीखना है. You have to have that interest for learning, that first move कि भाई that initiative to learn. So when you are upskilling yourself, you'll probably find more relevant people around your circle कि जो आपको help करने के लिए ready है. But that first move should be from your side कि भाई मुझे सीखना है. And then we'll find people who will guide you and give you the direction. अगर आपके पास एनर्जी रहेगा ना कि मुझे यहाँ से यहाँ जाना है, तो वो डायरेक्शन आपको कोई दे देगा. you have the energy to move from Bombay to Delhi. आप भाग पाओगे उतना. Let's say you can run from Bombay to Delhi, but the quickest route to reach Delhi वो आपको कोई guide कर देगा. But वो पता तो होना चाहिए ना कि आपको भागना है. So you'll have to show that. That's very important. So upskilling yourself is very important. One thing is you start something, you do that for 6 months continuously, and then you jump into something else. Don't jump like into a lot of things very fast. Give that space 6 months. See, again, if you don't like something, you'll have to know that thing. आप किसी भी चीज को रिजेक्ट नहीं कर सकते बिफोर नोइंग एनीथिंग. लेट्स से मुझे अगर इंजीनियरिंग नहीं पसंद है, हाउ विल आई डिसाइड दैट इफ आई डोंट नो दैट? तो मुझे 6 महीने देने पड़ेंगे. अगर मुझे कुछ नहीं भी कर रहा है तो भी 6 महीने देने पड़ेंगे टू लर्न दैट थिंग इनफ टू रिजेक्ट इट. तो वैसा है. सो गिव 6 months and then you try something else and learn something else. If you are liking the first thing, even then you can try something else, because then वो दोनों parallel चलेगा. Because you have spent 6 months aggressively, you will not need the same number of hours in the next 6 months. आप मे बी 6 घंटा कर रहे थे, अभी उसको आप 2 घंटा करोगे और नई स्किल को आप 4 घंटा दोगे. That's how it will go simultaneously, and then you add on to it. Eventually, 5 years down the line, so I'm 24 right now, ठीक है? I've started doing things at 18, 19. 5 years, 6 years down the line, I see myself doing 5, 6 things at a time. But it's not that वो मैंने सब साथ में चालू की थी. कुछ हुआ था, फिर कुछ हुआ था, फिर you just add things. So that's how it is.
So, sir, everyone is going into investing, especially at our age. We're very intrigued by investing in stocks and everything. So, I have some questions around that. So, sir, what would be your go-to stock market strategies and investing strategies that you would like to tell us, like just a gist?
Okay. I mean, see, this is a very, very common question, okay, that I get. And I'll give you a very simple idea, okay? Whenever you're investing in stock markets, go for the larger theme of investing. So, for example, in 2000, there was a tech theme. There was a tech boom that came in. In 2008, there was a housing bubble that was formed. Okay. And then probably after that, the banking and the housing stocks went down. Right now, the theme could be steel, because it's the overall global steel demand is going down. The next 15 years could be for electric vehicles, because many people are participating into electric vehicle, and supporting that would be a solar industry boom that can come in. So my idea of investing is very simple. You identify a larger theme which will work in the next 10 to 15 years. Okay. It could be electric vehicle, it could be solar, it could be, let's say, steel demand going up. Like we are seeing a lot of Chinese production coming to India. People are moving from the people who are purchasing it from China. Now they're moving to India because India has the capacity. Second, they don't want to be dependent on China, like overly dependent on China. So even that is coming in. And it's not it's not gonna be there for like next 6-7 months. If it's happening, it's a cyclical change, it's a structural change. So fundamentally, it will stay here for like next 5 to 10 years. So I focus on the larger themes, larger scheme of things, what is happening in the overall global market, and based on that, you can identify stocks individually. So मेरा हमेशा top down approach होता है. You identify the sector and then you identify the stocks. Simple. You identify the larger theme कि भाई I'm very bullish on electric vehicle for the next 15 years. ठीक है? And then you identify which companies are participating in the electric vehicle. Again, electric vehicle में अगर आप जा रहे हो, it's not just the cars. Let's say it's not just Tesla or a Tata Motor will be producing these cars. A lot of supporting work that comes in. So batteries would be in demand, tires would be in demand. Metal nahi hoga, so aluminum with like the metal that goes into a non-electric car is different than what goes into electric car. Electric cars are a little lighter. Aluminum jata hai usme. So aluminum demand would be higher. Batteries would be higher. Tires would be different, right? Solar, maybe if they venture into solar, then that would. So एक कार बनाने के लिए बहुत सारे raw materials चाहिए रहते हैं, right? So you can focus on batteries, you can focus on the car. So that's the theme. I mean, you focus on larger theme and you break it down into sectors that are going into that. So that's the approach I would follow.
Right, sir. So the one last question is that many of us feel very confused. We're not able to find a passion till very late in our lives. So how could you find it that finance is your thing, or investing, or you want to get into this area? So did you experiment or something?
Yeah, exactly. It's always about experimenting. It's always about experience. I've always told this. I've started with this as well. It's all about experiential learning. Okay. Okay, so you know this example, right? Nika IPO, it's just started yesterday, and the owner, Falguni Nair, right? She was a Kotak investment banking head, MD, managing director. and she left that office at the age of 50 to start her own thing. Now, as a person, I'm not saying that investment banking would not be her passion, but she found something else which is more creative, which is more financially stable for her, and it's better for sure because she's liking it. And she created Nike, and now it's valued at 7 billion at the IPO, right? So it's never too late. One, second, you also always have to experience. You always have to try new things. When you try new things, you fail, you learn. If you win, you found your passion. So it's a win-win. There's no downside to it. You will feel at times that you are wasting few months, few years here and there. But I think it's all worth at the end of the day because even those years will teach you something. KFC was started at 56. Boban Irani entered the industry at 48, 49. So it's never too late again. You'll just take, okay, Kunal Shah. We all know him, right? The founder of Cred. I think he was 36, 37 when he started Free Charge, and he sold it for a few billions to Snapdeal. And now he's again with a new startup. So Cred was founded in 2019, 2018, 2019. Today is 2021. And he's already at a 4 billion valuation. So in 4 years time, you don't, and he's what, 40, I think in the 40, early 40s, right? So you create something and it just works. But what like ऐसा नहीं होगा कि Cred उसका first startup होगा. He would have failed in a lot of startups as well. So it's very important to try. It's very important to experience. It's very important to venture into new things. Read a lot. Reading is very, very important. When you read, let's say about sectors, let's say about founders, business read karo, technology read karo. Read about what's the next big technology that is coming in. I think Facebook has started with metaverse, something which will replace digital internet forever now. So that's the new thing. You should be always, I mean, you should stay updated ahead of your times. You read more, and then probably will find. So when I'm reading technology, I feel I'm not able to understand, and that's where I understood that this is not my thing. Okay, but वो पढ़ा तो मुझे समझा ना, वरना मुझे नहीं पता था. So you have to experience, you have to read, you have to try new things to accept or reject. दोनों के लिए.
It's great listening to you, sir. Any piece of advice that you have for all of us, so that we can do all that you're doing? Just a little bit.
Okay. No, so again, last thing, at the age of 18, 19, 20, you guys have nothing to lose. Okay. If you are planning to start something, do it. उसमें अगर capex लग रहा है, लगा दो. कितना lose होगा? Okay, so when I started my business venture, I had like 1,50,000 to 1 lakh rupees of capital, okay? And I put that all into trading. And I lost it all, okay? I have lost it all as well. At times I've lost it all, I've rebuilt it, okay? And when I rebuilt it, again, it takes time to, again, start from 0 to 100. But at the age of 18, 19, the best advantage is you have time. Second, you don't have money. ये दोनों बहुत बड़ी चीज है. When you don't have money, you have very limited money to lose financially. Time आपके पास बहुत है, so again you have a lot of time to lose. So it's a perfect combination of trying new things. At the age of 24, if I start something, let's say I start trading today, and if I fail and if I lose it all, I'm obviously going to start at a very big amount. It won't be 1 lakh rupees now because 5 years of experience, 5 years of job, paisa aa gaya thoda, I'll start with a larger amount. And if I lose it all, what happens? So the financial loss at this age would be higher than at the age of 18, 19, 20, right? Network with a lot of people. That's very important. So three things: read a lot, try a lot of new things. Okay, don't be shy. Ask for new work. It's okay. Free hai, paisa mil raha hai. Don't think all of that. Ask for new work. When you ask for new work, you're building two things. One, your skill. Second, your network. When you start working with me, you are not only working with me for the work that we do, but you are also knowing me as a person. अगर आपको आगे जाके कुछ help चाहिए रहेगा, I can provide you with that recommendation to a let's say a corporation, or let's say अगर आपको MBA करना है, I can provide you with you that recommendation. It's not just me. Like any person you work with, you're also building a relationship with that. So networking is very important. So read a lot, network a lot, and try a lot of new things. These are 3 things that you should try at 18.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking our time for this interview and for sharing your expertise with us. It was a great session to you. The information was very enlightening, and it was an honor to have you with us here today. And again, my sincere thanks from Team Compact. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for scheduling this rescheduling it. And I'm sorry for the miscommunication again. And I had a great time. Yeah, thank you so much. And I think kudos to the work. Continue the good
Thank you
work
so
that you've
much.
been doing, spreading this awareness. Great stuff.